In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 crucial steps that you need to take to prepare for your next job interview. Hello goal achievers, and welcome to my channel Start Grow Pivot. My name is Adubia Foley, and I'm here to help aspiring and newcomers like you work smarter to achieve your career and business goals here in Canada. Let's get started. Do you have a job interview that's coming up? How do you typically prepare for your job interview? In today's video, I'm going to show you a simple framework that I use to preparing for my job interviews and how I advise my clients to prepare for their job interviews that are coming up. Preparation for a job interview is very important. The amount of hours that you spend working on your resume and your LinkedIn profile, making sure that it's top notch, you have to spend an equal amount of time preparing for your job interview. And that's either your behavioral interview or your technical interview, your panel interview, and all the different versions of interview. These steps that I'm taking you through will be very crucial to helping you be successful in the job interview. So let's get into the 5 steps. The first step is to extensively research the company. Now, it's important when you go into a job interview, when you're even writing from your cover letter to your job application, you show interest and genuine interest in the company, and recruiters and hiring managers look out for that. Your interest in the company shows and can be an indicator of your longevity at the company. Now, everybody wants to hire somebody who will come in and will show them that they're so interested in the role, they're interested in the company, they're interested in taking the company to the next level by showing that they've done their research into the company. Now, I'm going to list 7 places that you can do your company research. And the first place, obviously, is the company website. Go through the website, go through their services, go through their about me, learn about their values, their mission, and make sure you highlight the things that resonate with you and the things that you want to point out or questions that you want to ask in the interview about what you've seen on the company website. And if you really want to impress, you need to take a step further and look at Google News and look at the company mentions in news. Another place that you can look is to look at job search sites like Glassdoor, and you can also look at industry reports to find more information about the company. If you're an avid user of your library membership, libraries have a lot of research portals that you have access to that can give you company reports or industry reports. And also, if your company is active on social media, you want to follow them on social media. You want to check out their social media handles, see how they're engaging with their customers on Twitter, on Pinterest, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You want to follow them and see how they're interacting, and if you can also interact with them. And you want to read their Google reviews, you want to read their Yelp reviews, and depending on which role you're applying to, especially if it's a customer-facing role, you want to be really engaged in the company on social media and see how they engage with their clients. Another place that is important for you to get company information is through the annual report. If your company is a publicly listed or publicly traded company, their annual report is a goldmine place for you to get information about how they performed, how they were able to track to their goals for the year and some of their strategic goals for the following year. And bringing these kind of quotations and bringing these kind of sources through your interview shows that you're really interested and you've done the extra homework to know more about the company. Well, the final place that you can get information about a company is through informational interviews. Now, informational interviews are so key and can be so helpful, and they can make and break your ability to move on to the next round in an interview. If you're able to get an interview with someone who either worked at the company previously or currently works at the company or even works in the department, the closer you get to talking to somebody one-on-one about the company, they can give you the most information that you can get about what the company is like, what the culture is like, and how they hire, and some tips about interviewing, which you can get from Glassdoor, but it's more personal when you're able to talk to somebody one-to-one in an informational interview. So get on LinkedIn and check out another video that I have about how to build meaningful connections. And then I have another video about LinkedIn mistakes that you may be making, and that will help you be able to reach out to people to get those informational interviews. The second step in preparing to ace your job interview is the job description or the job posting. There are 4 areas of the job description that you want to pay attention to. The first area talks about the company and the department, the role, where the role lives and sits within the company. The second area of the job description talks about the summary of tasks and the summary of things that you will be doing. Some of them title them a day in the life, and they try to give you a sense of your day-to-day tasks in this job role. The third area talks about the skills and qualifications that you need to be successful in this job role. And the fourth area of the job description usually has their preferred skills and qualifications, which I like to call the hiring manager's wish list. This is where they throw in everything but the kitchen sink because they're trying to get the most experience and the most amazing candidate that they can get from this job description. Because as you know, in a COVID market, in a difficult job market, it is the employer's market, and they get a chance to throw in a few preferred skills and qualifications that will make you an exceptional candidate. Now you want to go through each and every single one of these 4 areas and highlight using the SWOT analysis method that I'll link to the video and also in the description below about how to build your personal SWOT analysis and take this with the job description in the 4 areas. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? Where do you have opportunities? And where are your threats? And know the job description very well. Now, one tip that I'd like to let you know of is something that has happened to me personally is applying for the job description, going back to the job link to get the job description, and then the job link or the job posting being taken down, and me not having the words and the keywords and the exact things at my fingertips, because sometimes you need to have the printed version of the job description, or you need to have it on your computer, and you need to have it so well memorized. So first tip is to copy and paste the job description into a Word doc so that you have it all the time when you're referring back to it as you're preparing. And now the third step in preparing to ace that job interview is to prepare examples using the SPAR method. That is the SPAR, and I add another R method. So you want to tell your story using the SPAR method. You start with a situation where you give the listener a very good picture view of what the situation was, the who, what, when, and then the P is the problem, and what was the problem that you were trying to solve with yourself or with your teammates. The A is what are the actions that you took to solve this problem. The R is the results from your actions, and the final R is the reflection, which is what is it that you learned as a result of the actions that you took. So remember, when you're preparing for your interview, there are going to be questions about tell me about a time when, or tell me about a time when, or remember a time when, or what happens when, or how do you manage conflict, or what would you do in this situation. They ask you these situational and behavioral interviews, and when you're telling the story, prepare some examples by looking at the job description, and especially in the second area where it lists your summary and task. Look for a story for each task that is listed in the job description. If your job description says that you need to be able to work with developers, or you need to be able to work with the digital marketing team, whatever it is, make sure you have a story using the SPAR method for each of those examples. When you're adopting the SPAR method, it's important to practice. It's important to have your stories, your go-to stories that are always ready to go depending on your situation. And when you say them 4 or 5 times, the SPAR methodology will start to happen naturally. You want to make sure that it gets to that natural point where you're talking and you're having a conversation and you're using this method naturally. The fourth step is that you want to prepare mock interviews, or call up a friend, or call up a colleague or a mentor or a career coach like myself. Call us up and say you want to have a mock interview. I'll link in the description below to our mock interview prep one-on-one session. where you get an hour and a half time with me to prepare you for whatever interview that you have coming up. A mock interview is important because it will help you to see the areas that you're struggling with. It'll also give you the opportunity to banter with somebody for someone to see where you are getting your message lost and where you might need help with. So make sure you take 30 minutes to do a mock interview with a colleague, do a mock interview with a mentor, or book a mock interview prep session with me. Now, the fifth thing that you want to do to prepare to ace that job interview is to prep your interview space or do a trial visit to your interview space. So now with COVID and everything being virtual, what you want to do is just to test that virtual interview setting. Prepare that virtual interview setting. So if you live at home with a number of people, make sure that you are able to carve a quiet place where they'll be free from interruptions. Make sure you have your resume ready to go on a screen. Make sure you test your microphone, your video settings, your Zoom settings. Make sure that your computer is fully charged. Make sure that you have a glass of water that you set down. You have a notebook to write notes. If you're looking down a lot, it can be distracting. So if you need to refer to something like your resume or the job description, have those right in front of you and look at that as you talk to the person, because it makes it easier for them to connect with you virtually when you're making eye contact. So make sure you keep that eye contact and you get a good night's sleep, and make sure that you do the Superman or Superwoman pose right before to make sure that you're in your best of spirits and moods for the job interview. So there you have the 5 crucial steps to preparing for your job interview. This 5-step framework, you will be well prepared for a job interview, less nervous, and you will be successful at impressing the recruiters and the hiring managers. Hope you like this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to get notified of our new videos every Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.